great day, attractive thinker. Welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Break. Give yourself a fighting chance. Dr. Toni Hatton here, your identity coach and get to the root specialist at theattractivethinker.guru. I want to encourage you to visit our website at theattractivethinker.guru. If you haven't already done so, and get your free audios on how to turn your problems into your solutions. Welcome my co-host Tichet Bradshaw to another episode of Beyond the Break. Give yourself a fighting chance.
Happy Mindset Monday, everybody. We are having such a good time during the show and sharing with you and looking at your comments. And we appreciate each and every one of you that are sharing, that are commenting, that are emailing us. We appreciate all of our listeners. As I always say, it's such a great day to be alive.
Awesome. And you're right to shed. Some of the comments attractive thinkers and visionaries may want to post a referral for a topic that you would like for us to discuss on Beyond the Break. So feel free to do that as well. If it's something that you're dealing with or you need clarity on, or you would like for us to discuss that, we are definitely open to doing that as well. Today, we're going to be talking about losing you is not an option. I want you to think about that, because when we talk about Beyond the Break, we understand that, we're going to experience some things in life that are going to break our heart, that is going to break our heart. It's going to, we're not going to feel so good about it. It's going to disappoint us and frustrate us. We know that that's going to happen. So we want to give you the tools necessary to help you through that heartbreak so you don't get stuck in it. We want you to flow through it and grow through it and not get stuck in it, because there's so much to learn when the heart breaks. Now, when we talk about losing you is not an option, I want you to understand that you are all that you have. I say that, often during my coaching sessions. We can lose a lot of things in this life. We could lose money, we could lose our keys, we can lose relationships. But if you lose you, you've lost everything. That's everything. Now, in order for you to see that, you have to place a high value on yourself. Why? What is it about you? Why losing you is not an option? Because your life is there. You were born for a purpose. Something higher than all of our imaginations and intellect created you and brought you here, thought enough of you for you to be born. You're an answer to a problem. You're a thought conceived. I want you to understand that you belong here, just like the sun, the moon, and the stars. You're just that valuable. So when we talk about losing you is not an option, losing you means we lose a part or a piece that the world needs. We lose an answer in the earth. We lose something that meant something. When you lose you lose your ideas and your creativity and your fire and your power and your courage and your confidence. Do you know that losing you is losing everything? Do you know that there are people silently hoping and wishing and praying that you win? And they're not even going to tell you that. Losing you means they lose as well, because some people won't even take the steps necessary to live their dreams until they see you do it first, because you're showing them the way. They may not be able to say that to you. You may never hear them say that, but just know that the dreams that are inside of you, think about what I just said, attractive thinker, inside of you, that means they're valuable. They have a purpose. There's a reason. These aren't just dreams that you've cooked up and they just, you popped out of your head or whatever. No, these are dreams that were in your heart before you were even born. They're needed in the earth. They were placed there not just to put a smile on your face or money in your pocket. They were placed there as a solution for others, so that others can win when you win. You're valuable, you're important, you're necessary. It doesn't matter what you have. The value comes in who you are. Tichet, talk to us today about losing you is not an option.
Absolutely. And when we talk about you as a person, we're not just talking about the ego. We're talking about the self, the real self, not the character you're playing, but the real you, the gifts, the spirit that comes with you, the you that is when everything is stripped away, that you that stands strong. We're talking about the you that is consistently building and always evolving. We're talking about the you that is worthy, the you that has all these gifts, the you that contributes to the earth. And some of you might not know, what who you are in this moment. Some of you might not know what you have to bring into this earth. Like I said, when I first started during a mastermind experience Dr. Toni had, I did not know what I brought to the table. I told her, I said, I'm just a graphic designer. Uh, what gifts can I serve to the earth? Now, here's the thing. At the time, I'm an actress. I sung, I danced, I did a whole bunch of those little things, the fine arts, but I didn't know what I had in me that can contribute to somebody else being delivered or set free or being ignited, being enlightened. I didn't know what I had to contribute to the earth manifesting in the way that it is supposed to. I didn't know the gifts that was silent. So, during the time of self discovery, I started to learn more and more who I was. And I was listening to people like Dr. Toni who was telling me, you have these amazing gifts and all these things. And sometimes there's people in your life who will tell you what they see in you until you can actually see it in yourself and walk forward in it. Those are the people you want in your life. The other naysayers, no. You want to let them go. You don't want to let go of the priceless people,
Yeah.
the ones who are in your world that is contributing, that is actually a benefit to your life, to who you are. They make you feel better about the way that you live. And they might not always agree with everything you say. They might not always tell you what you want to hear, but they tell you what you need to hear. They tell you what the spirit needs to hear in order for it to move forward. Because sometimes we get so caught up in our comfort zone and we don't let go of the comfort zone that we don't know that a certain thing is good for us or not. And so when you have people that is in your life that can speak those things over you and cause you to let go of your comfort zone, then you'll be able to see you for who you are outside of being what everybody else called you to be. So again, when we're talking about you, we're talking about everything that you are, the real self, the self outside of your job, the self outside of you being a mother and a daughter and a sister and a friend, the self outside of all of those titles. Who are you? So if you take away your job, and if somebody said, let's see you in the spirit, who are you as a person? And if you don't know who you are, then that's a good journey to go on, to
Mhm.
start learning that self discovery. And you start pulling back them layers like an onion, and you start saying, oh, I didn't know I even loved that.
Yeah.
That was it, that was with me the entire time. I
Mhm.
thought about that as a child. I thought that was just something that, I just thought about it and let it go. No, there's some things that has been going with you all this time. There's some visions, some dreams, some goals that has been silently moving along with you, waiting for you to recognize it so you can walk right into it. And sometimes, if you listen to our last show, Breaking Free from What's Breaking You, when you get to that point of breaking, sometimes you don't see it until you get to that point of breaking.
Mhm. Mhm.
So when we're talking about you, we're we're talking about the prize that you are, the
Mhm.
gift that you are, the the answer that you are. You are somebody's answer. You are an answer. You have so much to contribute. And so going on that discovery is amazing to me. Why? Because I got to see myself in a way that I never saw before. You get to see so many different um so many things that you come with that you didn't know that you had, so many characteristics. You get to find what you're good for and what you're not. So when you're doing that self discovery, there's some things that you're going to have to let go because it's not going to sit well with you. There are some places you might go right now that it's not going to sit well with you, because the more you discover yourself, the more you can't fit into other people's narrative. You have to stay true to you. So when you're staying true to you, you're staying true to your spirit. You're staying true to what life called you for, your gifts, your talents. There's some things that people contribute to the earth. Like there's some people who might contribute music to the earth. Dr. Toni is one of them. If you haven't heard her CD, I suggest you check it out on her YouTube channel. But there's some people that contribute, acting. They have the ability to write. Some people have the ability. It's all kinds of things that people contribute to this earth. It's not just like, we all gotta get somebody to do this one grand, amazing thing. Sometimes you're a rock that hit a water that caused a big ripple effect.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There's those little gems, that those little things that you do that don't nobody else know you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Those things cause a big ripple later on, and you get to see the effects. The only thing is, if you don't know your self-worth, you won't know you caused that effect. But if you're looking for if you're looking for your self-worth, if you're trying to understand your self-worth, you're watching everything you put out. So then when you watch what puts out, you can see where you put out came back in. Some stuff is later, but some stuff is now.
Mm-hmm.
So when we first get to the point of done, of breaking beyond what we feel like is unimaginable, we can't do no more.
Mm-hmm.
We got to sit with ourselves, and we got to ask ourselves some questions, and just sit there and let go for a second. Let go of everything you were taught for a second. Let go of everything you've done for a second, all of your successes, all of your failures. Let them go for a second. And then start reintroducing some things to you, and start researching in your heart whether this is true to you or not. Start researching who is around you. Once you start to love yourself, you'll see who doesn't. I'm telling you, it will expose them. When you cut the grass, snakes will appear. It'll expose the snakes. So this is why it's important to love yourself, not just to, pump up your ego, but so that you know that the kind of life that you live, you're worthy of it, and that the people that's around you is contributing to it. So yeah, letting go of things, choosing to letting go of things, that might be easy, right? To some. Letting go of people might be a little bit harder. Letting go of a teaching, letting go of things that have been grounded in you since you were a child. A lot of those things are hard to let go because you spent your whole life believing this one thing. You spent your whole life thinking that you had to do this. Like for some people, they might have spent their whole life believing they had to take on the family business. And come to find out, they didn't even want to do the family business. They wanted to be an artist, or they wanted to be a doctor, or they wanted to, open up a restaurant. The family business causes them to sell logs, but they don't want to sell logs. Now there's people out here who do, but they want to do something different, and that has to be okay. You got to be comfortable and okay with being uncomfortable with being a mix of other people's opinion. You have to be comfortable with what you say for yourself, because at the end of this life, you are all you have. At the end of this life, you got to answer for only you. You can't answer for anybody else. What did you contribute? So nobody else has the power over you unless you give it away. Nobody can take over you. No, your life is yours. Nobody can take over your life unless you give it away, unless you allow them to take over your life. Now, your life is the one thing you're supposed to hold on to in a way, because as soon as I said that, I was thinking, Dr. Toni, it was a statement that said, he that let go of his life gains it, and he that gains his life
Loses
he
it.
that loses it.
I understand what you're
And I keep thinking about that. Or he that loses his life finds it. That's what it said. He that loses or let go of his life finds it. And sometimes we got to let go of everything that we think is life. We think is life. Is it really life though? Is it the real thing? Because sometimes what we think is life is just a small little pinch of it. You got so much more in your life than that little issue. than that little thing, than that person that just walked away from you. There's so much more to your life. So if you're going to let go of something, let go of what's stopping your life, what's stunting your life and stunting your growth. Let go of that, but never let go of who you are. Back to you, Dr. Toni.
So powerful, attractive thinker. I hope you're getting this, and I hope it's resonating. It's getting in, and you're not multitasking. You're really paying attention. You're listening, because we're talking about you. We're talking about us, not losing you in the process, not losing you. Losing you is not an option. Tichet, when I thought about that while you were talking, not an option stood out to me. It just jumped right off the page to me. Not an option. You mean that's not even on the table? You mean when just because I'm going through something doesn't mean I just throw my hands up and say I'm done, I'm out, I'm down for the count. I don't have the you mean that's not a choice that's available to me? No, it's not, because once you realize your value, you don't put you on the table when you're going through something. You don't put you on the table. You say, okay, I have a plan A, plan B, and me. I have choice one, choice two, and me. I could lose this, I could lose that, and me. No, you're not an option. You're not even to be considered to get rid of or to let go of just because you're going through something. So that's what not an option means. It means I'm not even going to consider quitting. I'm not even going to consider giving up. Certain trials that I was facing personally in my life, losing me, that's not an option. What are you talking about? Because if I lose me, I've lost everything. You mean lose me and settle for what? Lose me and do what? Lose me and live how? It's not even an option. So it's not even to be considered. What's to be considered is, what else do I need to let go? Not me. Because when you lose you, you've lost everything. So when we talk about not an option, the thought never crossed my mind. The thought never crossed my mind to give up on me. See, and all of this goes back to number one, you have to establish that value in yourself. You have to discover, become one with, get close to, understand how worthy you really are. You know, I used to have to tell my children, listen, I'm not saying this because I'm your mother. This is true. There's greatness inside of you. This is true. You can do it. It is possible. I don't want you to think I'm just saying all these lovey-dovey things to you just because I'm your mother. I see your potential. And there are potentials in you that are beyond my wildest dreams, because I didn't make you. But something more powerful, something, you know, I hear Oprah a lot during her interviews towards the end, she'll say, who is God? Or what is God? And to me, you know, if she was to ask me that, I would have to say, beyond my imagination, beyond my intellect, beyond my comprehension. So if something that powerful that you can't even articulate with words created you, can you imagine your worth? Can you imagine how valuable you are? Something out of your control took care of you in your mother's womb and took care of you while you were a child and brought you all the way up here. And you're still breathing through all of this that we're dealing with in our world right now, and you're still breathing. Then you have to see how important you are, how fantastic and amazing you are, how worthy you are. And you'll begin to discover your worthiness the more you dig deep into who you are in your own life. The more you make you a priority. When you discover your real value, you won't accept people talking to you any old kind of way. You say, you know what? I'm not sure who you're talking to or why you feel the need to say it that way, but I don't allow myself to be talked to that way. There's a nice way to say it. You don't have to be disrespectful or out of character. And trust me, I've had my share of that as well. You say, oh my gosh, like Dr. Toni, yes. There have been things that have happened to me and I've experienced in my life that really took me to the next level, because it was unimaginable that somebody could do or say these kinds of things to someone like me, who's always helpful, always compassionate, always willing to give an answer, who has compassion for hurting people. How, you know, what makes you, you're going to go, I'm saying these things because you're going to face these things in your life, attractive thinker. And you're going to need to know that someone, like another attractive thinker has faced these things before you did. And you will come out of them. And I've learned a lot of lessons about how people try to trigger you and try to, trigger your energy. And life can take you to a point where as you feel like throwing your hands up. I felt like it, but there was something greater inside of me that wouldn't allow me to do it. It just would not allow me to do it. It wasn't my nature. Because, okay, sometimes I've even found myself saying to Tichet, I'm done. I'm just done. I'm out. I'm not even going to try this anymore. I'm not going to go this route anymore. I'm not even going to fool with these people anymore. I'm not going to fool with these dreams and ideas anymore, because every time I turn around dreaming again, it's taking me out on this ledge, this faith walk. And then I'm out here on this cliff by myself, encountering all this stuff, and I don't have support. Come on, attractive thinker. I know you've been there. But you have to remember that you're not doing this just for you. These desires didn't come from you. They were planted in you. They didn't come from you. That means you're not the only person who's going to benefit from the accomplishment of them. There's a reason why they're planted in you. People around you are going to be benefited. The world needs what's inside of you. So losing you is not an option. And the more you understand your worth and value, you take you off the table. This is card 1 and this is card 2. And that's all we have to work with. You're either going to choose A or B, because I'm not on the table. I'm not an option. I'm not a choice. I'm not one of the things that you can say, well, yay or nay to. No, I'm an absolute. I'm not a variable. I'm an absolute in this equation. You can shift some other things around. You can move A over here to B. You can even include C and D, but you just can't get rid of me. I want you to think about that. When you understand your worth, you take you off the table and you realize that I can lose a lot of things in life, but one thing I refuse to lose, and that's me. Tichet, another thing that you said made me think about how, we've had these conversations before, and I want attractive thinkers to know that you're never going to see yourself like other people see you who support you. That's the key word, who support you. I'm not talking about people who throw shade and, don't support you. I'm talking about people who support you. People who support you see the greatness in you. You've heard the phrase before, you can't see your picture because you're in the frame. Well, the people who support you are not in your frame. You're in the frame. So we can stand off and look at your picture in the frame, which is you, and tell you about how great you are, about how fantastic and amazing you are, about the accomplishments that you are making, the progress that you are making. You may not be able to see it. So let me give you an example of what I'm saying, because these are not generic statements that we're making here. When I say people who support you, you're not going to be able to see yourself like they see you. For example, sometimes when I have to prepare for a singing engagement, I get nervous, because I want to really be a blessing to the people that hear my voice. I don't want to be, making all these mistakes. I want to be able to hit the notes, just like the average singer, who cares about what they're doing. You want to practice and rehearse and make sure you know the words, because I'm good for just singing whatever comes to my mind. I know the tune, but sometimes I miss the words. But, you want to get all that right during the practice. So these are my concerns. But do you know that the people who are coming to hear me sing, they aren't thinking about that? Like, oh my God, I hope she doesn't make a mistake. Or I hope she knows all the words. Or I hope she can hit that note. Or I hope she doesn't fall on the stage. They're not thinking about that. They're excited. They're anticipating hearing my healing voice. They're excited because they know they're going to get something that's going to make their lives better, whether it's in my speaking or in my singing. So they're in the audience, excited, anticipating your presence, and know that they're going to be blessed as a result. And they've been waiting all week to come to the event. And here I am, wondering if it's going to be okay. I remember Tichet, I think his name is Kevin Costner. He was at Whitney Houston's funeral.
Yes.
And he said that Whitney asked him, and I'm paraphrasing, do you think I sound okay? Is my voice good enough? Do you think they're going to like it? I'm paraphrasing. And it blew me away because I'm like, the voice of all time still had this concern about, am I good enough? Is it good enough? Do they like it? And that let me know that it doesn't matter how many successes you accomplish in life or how many heights you climb to, that negative self chatter, that inner voice that wants to always keep us playing small, it's going to always be there. What we do is we learn to manage it, and we learn to put a muzzle on it. We learn some techniques and strategies and skills on how to master that voice just so that we can get the gift out to the world. Nobody is exempt from that negative self-chatter. I heard Donna Ross say some things. Oh, and I'm paraphrasing. When I get hear that voice, I have something I want to do with my life. I'm getting ready to create an album, whatever, and I hear that voice say, "Oh no, you can't do this." She says, "Oh yes, I can. Oh yes, I can do that. Oh yes, I will sing that." Think about that. Nobody's exempt from this negative self-talk. So you don't say, "Oh, I have to deal with negative self-chatter, so I don't know my worth yet, or I don't feel valuable." It has nothing to do with it. It happens to the best of us. Your negative self-chatter has nothing to do with your value and your worth, because losing you, that's not an option. Back to you, Tichet.
We are our own biggest critics.
Mm,
Everybody, we are our own biggest critic. Somehow we think that when we go to do something, and it's good to have expectations on yourself. It's good to have a desire to give 100%.
mm,
It's good to give quality when you do anything. But there comes a time where everybody has this expectation that we're the only ones that don't know how to do this. So if you have somebody that, like you said, if you're going up and sing and you're nervous, you don't really remember at that time that the greats have that issue as well, because all you can think about is your own criticism. And like you said, Dr. Tony, the people are not even thinking about any of those
mhm,
things.
mhm.
It's the narrative you painted in your mind, and your body is responding to that narrative. Your
Yeah.
body will physically respond to the fears that you put in your own mind. And that's one of the things that we got to work on letting go. And that is not, how do I put this? We have to let go of not being able to do something because we're afraid. We have to be able to do it afraid. Dr. Tony, you said earlier, you said sometimes when you're done, right? And when you talked about being done, I thought done is the entryway of the next level. Let
Mm,
me tell you why. It's the entry to letting go,
mm.
right?
Okay.
Because you ever got to a place where you said, "I'm done, I'm not doing no more, I don't care about nothing else, don't ask me nothing, don't say nothing," and then an answer come through and it keeps you going a little more, or some hope comes through, somebody come with something you didn't know. You have to work hard to actually give up. But when you're a visionary, giving up is not an option. Something is always going to come through. So
Mm,
when you're done, that means you're letting go of the outcome. You're letting go of your stake in the claim. You're just letting go at this moment. I don't care no more. Whatever. I'm not doing this. When you're letting go of your outcome, the the ability to move forward comes from that, because you let go of the, "I need this to work out this way," or "I need this to happen that way." You're letting go of your stake in the claim. You're letting go of it all. So then when you have let go, you loosened up a little bit. Here comes a little answer. Here comes some hope. Here comes a statement you haven't heard. You ever feel like giving up, but nothing? Dr. Tony, you talked about that before. Nothing will let you give up, no matter how much you try. That was for a reason. That's because when you get to a level of done, that is an entryway to something else. That is an entryway to another level. That's an entryway to say, "Okay, I'm not holding on to this. Spirit, what you got? What
yeah.
else you have to give
Yeah.
me? What you say going on?" Because sometimes we try to force a thing You force stuff so much that you end up holding on so tight. Somebody once told me, they said, when you hold sand in your hand, right, and you hold on so tight, the sand slips between your fingers because you squeeze so tight. But when you hold it loosely, you can hold more. So when you get to that level of done, that's you holding loosely.
Mm,
That's allowing you to hold more when you're at that level of done. So don't underestimate your level of done and you being through with being through.
yeah,
Because guess what? That through with being through is where your breakthrough starts.
that's right.
Now, here's the thing, you got to be willing to go, even if it doesn't make sense. You just got to be willing to go. But in order to go, in order to jump, you have to let go of what you were holding on to. And the thing about it is, there's some situations and circumstances that only come so you can let go.
Mm,
There's some stuff that will show up just so you can let go. There's some people that is being placed in that situation. It could be on your job, in your business, just so you can let go. But
mm,
you gotta have discernment, because there's some people who are not disrupted, who's not there to disrupt your peace. They're there to disrupt your comfort zone. They're there to stretch you. They're there to help you. There are some people that will cause you to create something bigger. As a graphic designer, when I design, I have people that I will, show what I did, and they will give me their honest opinion. Their opinion is not always what I want to hear. They might say, why don't you try this? Why don't you try that? Have you did this? Have you did that? And if I was in ego, I would be like, they didn't think it was good enough. But instead, I look at it and say, you know what, that might be a good idea. But I run it by my spirit first, because everybody that got an idea is not the idea for you. That might be the idea for them, but it's not for you. So you have to know the difference when you're accepting your ideas. Anything you do takes discernment. Walk your whole life by the spirit and by that discernment, and you'll see your whole life turn around.
mm,
You'll see your life show you things you didn't even know was there. When you let go of the limitations, you're allowing yourself to become unstoppable and unlimited. But
mm,
you gotta let go of the limitations. You gotta be willing to take a leap off that platform you've been
mm,
so comfortable on. So
mm.
sometimes people come so you can get up off that platform and onto another one. I know for a fact the situation I just had recently, where um somebody was brought into that situation to make it all confusing and brought a lot of negativity. And I could have let me come out of my character, but me holding on to my gift, holding on to who I am, holding on to my spirit, I did not. I let go of the situation. I didn't let go of me, right? And because I didn't let go of me, I was able to see this through and see why this happened. That person was there just to get me off my comfort zone. Otherwise, I would have stayed in that limited place. I would have stayed where I was limited in what I could do. I would have stayed unhappy in that place. That person came not to just disrupt my peace, because two sides of a coin I talk about. That person, when somebody comes to disrupt your peace, there's also a solution that's also being handed to you at the same time, or being when there's a solution, there's also a problem. When there's a problem, there's also a solution. So it's what you focus on grows. I call that two sides of a coin being presented with every situation, every circumstance. The last episode I talked about heads or tails. Go back and see what I said about heads or tails. What you focus on will grow, right? So when somebody comes in and you think it's disrupting your peace, look again.
Mm,
Because is it disrupting your peace, or is it telling you, hey, you need to get out of here? You need to step up. You need to jump off. You need to go forward. You need to pick another route. You need to pick another thing. You need to do something different, because you've outgrown this place. You've outgrown this situation. So sometimes it's not going to fix it in the way you want it to fix, because it's not supposed to be fixed in that limited space. You're supposed to jump to a new. If it was supposed to be fixed, you would have fixed it. You would have fixed it and fixed it a long time ago. But because it's not supposed to be fixed, you're supposed to get a new, it's not going to be fixed in the way, in the limited way that you think. So when you get to that place of done because of that situation or because of that person, or you allow people to come in and they have turned on you, um, don't look at that situation and really see what was that really? Was that for me to move on? What
Mhm.
did they already give me what they came for? Because people come in your life for a reason and for a season, and when that season is up, you gotta let go. When that reason is up, you gotta let go. When that person that comes into your life for that reason and season and you keep holding on to it, you're in the way of what was coming next. You are
Mhm.
in the way, not them, you, because it's up to you to let go of that. It's up to you to walk away from some stuff. It's okay to walk away. It really is. There's some stuff you don't walk away from. Some stuff you gotta stand the test of time. See, discernment is key because there's some stuff you let go and some stuff you don't. There's some things you say yes to and some things you don't. There's some things you stand up for and some things you don't. There's sometimes you gotta fight a certain battle and sometimes you just let that battle fight itself. You gotta know when to do that, and you can only do that by aligning your spirit with the higher spirit and increasing your discernment so that and trusting the spirit to tell you whether that's good or not. So that's what I was believing for, when we're letting go. With that done, that point of done is the entryway of the next level. Back to you, Dr. Tony.
That's incredible, incredible. Attractive thinkers, I trust that you have captured these gems today and recognize the value in not losing you. Recognize the value in yourself. You said, Tichet, you have to use discernment. And when you said that, I recall that song, I believe it was by Kenny Rogers. You got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away, and know when to run. See,
Mm-hmm.
discernment will help you know when to do these things, because there's, like you said, there's a time and place for everything. You need to know who's what and what is what in your life when it's time to make decisions. Tichet, when you talked about losing you is not an option, I want attractive thinkers to understand before we close out. I want you to understand something. You are all that you will ever need to be. Everything that you need is locked up inside of you. You came here with it. You don't have to look outside of yourself for anything. It's inside. And the more you begin to make you a priority, the more you begin to love yourself and understand how much you matter, the more you will begin to recognize your value and your worth. And see, sometimes breaking free from things and overcoming challenges and obstacles is not about knowing what to do in that situation. It's about knowing who you are, because knowing who you are will automatically make you aware of what to do. It comes with knowing who you are. When you know who you are, you know what to do. You know what you can take, you know what you can't take, you know what you'll tolerate, and you know what you won't tolerate. Dr. Toni Hatton here, your identity coach and get to the root specialist. Book your clarity session. If you're struggling in this area, if you're a new and aspiring entrepreneur, you have dreams and goals that you want to accomplish, you find yourself procrastinating, or you're facing a challenge and you're almost at the point where you just want to throw your hands up, book a clarity session. www.clarity.theattractivethinker.guru. That's GURU. We're here to support you with the mental tools, mental healing, and mental strength, mindset maintenance resources to help you overcome these mental blocks so you can continue to give birth to the dreams and the desires of your heart. Tichet, tell our audience how they can keep in touch with you, the visual encourager.
Absolutely. You can find me on my website at www.visualencouragement.com. We provide mental support for movers and shakers, groundbreakers, pathfinders, and trailblazers, visionaries who desire to move mountains but need help lifting the heaviness so that they can live out the life that they created for themselves. Go to my contact us page, put in your information, let me know how I can uplift you, enlighten you, and encourage you so that you can live a life of fulfillment that you deserve. Again, that's www.visualencouragement.com. See you soon.
Awesome. Attractive thinkers, we trust that you're going to have a fantastic and amazing day. You always hear us say, our life's work, that's to make your life better. It is not what you're going through, it's how you're viewing it. Think attractively, and we'll see you soon.